capture the games live, and if they wanted to see a corner or a goal or whatever during the game, then I'd be able to show that straight away, you know, like you would, you know, well, it's the same at any level, you know, and, you know, then of course we have ProZone then after a game, so that, you know, that's every touch and every player coded, so everything they've done on the ball is coded, you know, so, but we also need to then see, you know, when defenders are off the ball, are they too deep, are they, you know, are they holding a good line, you know, where the strikers are when the defenders get the ball, are they looking for the ball, are they spinning away and stuff like that, so
when you say you're looking at defenders and where they are, what the position is in the field of play, is that in relation to the actual manager's philosophy of playing football?
It would be, well, it'd be, you know, you'd have defenders will have been brought up a certain way, and, you know, it's just, you like to kind of, I mean, some managers want the defenders to go and get the ball, for example, off the goalkeeper, you know, if they want to play out from the back, which means they already have a deep line, you know, so, you know, we look at when the opposition have the ball, are we squeezing the space that they can play in? Are we holding the high line? Are we trying to keep them offside? Are we trying to give, you know, as much space as we can, restrict the space, you know, that they have to play in, you know?
And tell me, the opposition, you would have let's say, a permanent force, but then you look at the most latest games that they play.
I mean, the way we operate, we have, you know, our chief scout goes to one game, so that, you know, and then I'd get another game. I'd get, let's say, if this chief scout goes to the last game, I'd get the game just before that, so that we have, you know, it's a good idea of how form-wise how they're going, you know, the last two games, and be a good idea seeing, you know, is the same team and the personnel changes and whatnot, you know. So we would then, you know, you'd look at how each mix and matches, because what you don't get off the video is you don't get off the ball stuff, because obviously the camera tracks the ball, so the chief scout is useful in that respect, because they can then see, you know, are they defending deep or not, and are the strikers, does he play in the shoulder, does he not, does he come short, does he not, you know, so, you know, we try and get almost the best of both worlds.
Okay, and in your role, does the players' fitness come into the performance end of it?
It does. We aren't a full ProZone club, so we don't get the fitness data. We do on some games, mind, for the clubs that are, you know, that give it to us. But you know, it's an important facet, because, you know, it's ultimately what you do on the pitch on game day. Ultimately, is kind of make or break. You know, so you want to know that your players have run more and they've sprinted more than, you know, than an average player, than, you know, someone else in their position. You know.
And how many hours a week would you put in there?
About 500 hours a week.
Is that allowed?
They're fairly long days, you know, because, you know, most things video related take time. I mean, you know, especially when you go to clip videos, I mean, I end up watching games 3 or 4 times because of the number of things that have to get taken out. You know, your focus switches, you know, in one review from defenders to strikers, you know, what both are and aren't doing, you know, so it's a lot of man hours. It's quite time consuming, you know. You know, especially when you're looking at oppositions, you know, where they can see where they score their goals, so that you can hopefully do better against them. And, you know, it's going look for footage and downloading games from various sources. You know, everything just takes so much time, you know. But, you know, it's a labour of love.
And do you draw conclusions on the data, or is that somebody else's?
It's, well, like I said, I'm more of just a conveyor of information. So I mean, I'd give match DVDs and I'd give highlights DVDs to the coaches and let them sift through it, you know. And if, you know, we then collaborate between, you know, when we go to do our pre-match presentations about which facets that, you know, they want to put into a presentation, which are the key strengths and weaknesses, you know, because players have such a limited, you know, concentration span in those meetings. We try and kind of zoom into the most important ones, you know. So. And
generally, how long would those meetings take?
15-20 minutes at the very most.
So players have that short.
It's not that it's because, you know, players learn different ways more than anything, and, you know, we did a study of our own players, and we looked at what their preferred learning modalities are. You know, some players prefer to learn by running through it on the pitch, and some players prefer to learn by looking at a video. And, you know, you don't want to lose the ones that don't want to watch the video, because, you know, you like to have, you know, the best of both worlds almost, you know.
So trying to capture everybody.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, it's good to see, you know, especially, you know, when we played Swansea, we looked at, you know, how to stop them doing what they did, and, you know, where they were weak and where they were strong, you know. And sometimes you can't get that on a pitch, So that's why you kind of have your video presentations to prepare them that way as well.
What would you say is your best moments working with Cardiff?
So far, the playoffs, the FA Cup semi-final against Barnsley. We were going to have such an average season that year. But it was such a terrific feeling to know that you're coming back to Wembley and you're going to be in a showcase game, and you're in with a chance to be in Europe and all the rest of it. So it's a pity we didn't, that we lost the final, but it was such a terrific day out, and the bus back was brilliant as well, and Steve Thompson was on the bus and he wrote the FA Cup final song on the bus coming back, so it was brilliant.
That sounds good. What role do you play in the youth section of the club?
I oversee the video, all the video stuff for the kids. We try and cover as many of our kids' games as we can. We currently do our under 18s, under 16s, and I get people in to go and video them and supply them with the equipment and all the rest of it. On top of that, then we do some 14, some 13, some the various age groups as you go down, but it's just number of teams and the personnel is what we don't have. So we do try and map over what we do the first team to what the under 18s do, so when they step up from one level to the next, that it's not a culture shock to them.
So it's a seamless transition,
more or less. You try and keep everything as consistent as you can.
And what attitude do the players at the underage level take? Is it like a professional attitude that they take, or is
they would be? They train every day, so you have to drill into them the fact that they only get it. Most of them only have a 2-year scholarship, so that every day they come in, they can't just switch on and off form. You have to work at it every single day that you're there. And the players that they train with when they do step up in the first team are there because they've done exactly what you've done for 2 years. So.
How many of the players on average each year would be able to step up or have stepped up?
You'd be looking
into
to get
the
one
first team squad.
You'd be out of a squad of 20, one or two. Yeah.
On average every year.
That'd be it's only it's a kind of a frightening statistic, but generally only 5% of those that are attached to clubs will ever get a professional contract. And that's more because it's a numbers game, and sometimes you have to go through a certain amount to get one or two through. So it's unfortunately every club is in the same boat. Man United are no different. They have the luxury of being able to they might take 5 or 6 from a particular age group, whereas we only take 1 or 2. It's sometimes it's the hardest part of football is telling a kid at 17 or 18 that they aren't good enough.
And you get all sorts of reactions to that.
You do. Listen, it can be such a soul destroying decision for a kid, especially seeing as it's all they've done since they were 8 or 9, and some of them think then that because they have a scholarship that they're in with a good chance, and they tend to some decide that they want to push on, and it's terrible for those that don't. Sometimes they end up falling out of the game completely.